What up? So it's finally been sunny enough to go skate. I just got back from the skate park from skating the new Antony Pottier FR UFR aggressive skate. If you haven't seen these yet or don't know anything about it, I guess FR is typically like an urban skate brand, more rec, really big in the slalom skating world, and they have finally decided to come out with their version of an aggressive skate with the help of their main rider Antony Pottier, who helped them make this. I guess he did all the testing and whatnot. I'm not really 100% sure. As you can see, it is your typical kind of rec skate boot, you know, even with the little, I don't even know what that is for, but they seem to all have them. It's there for a reason. I really don't know. Maybe just to give it a bit more longevity when you slam on those sides. I guess a lot of them do cess slides and stuff like that, their version of cess slides when it comes to slalom. But anyway, so they've added a sole plate, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, just from looking at it, you can tell it's quite high. A bit different from, I guess, your typical aggressive setup, where it's not so, I don't know, where you don't have that as much of a separation from the frame. It's usually a bit closer. First session, I don't know, the first, I don't know, half an hour was really just getting used to how high these are, or how different they feel from, say, skating like an SL or even a Roshi's, or even from the Vim skates. As soon as I chuck these on, that flex point of the height, because of the frames and your ankle flexing, was something to get used to. Reminded me from, I don't know, it reminded me of changing skates, say when I was skating my Razor SLs to the Vim skates, you know. Even the Vim skates felt a lot higher compared to the SLs, or even my Roshi's Fifth Elements. So it was that same kind of feeling. All right, I got to get used to this, and where just my ankle does flex. Surprisingly though, because of how, I don't know, this sole plate looks so thick, it's about ½ centimeter maybe where you feel a little higher, which is a lot when you're standing up on them. But to my surprise, it's felt really good to skate. Like all the other reviews that I've seen, everyone's talked about like how surprised they were as soon as they started grinding in them. And to be honest, yeah, it was a bit of a shock. They felt really good. Yeah, it didn't take me very long to get used to it. I don't know, a few grinds in, only like say half an hour, and I was like good to go.
Probably like 2 weeks before the festival. Oh yeah. We're like, oh yeah, we're doing this fucking mango latte. Yeah, that was the one, and it was a fucking
The boot is quite skinny, quite, you know, to me it feels quite similar to like the Roshi's M12s, or maybe even the Colts, similar in that feel. But yeah, that's why I have put in the Intuition liners. So I got the 7.5 boot because I wanted to downsize with the Intuition liner. Now, the liner that they come with, my feet fit these, but they are very snug. They are very snug to the point where I don't think I would use this for any other boot, just because if it had the neoprene toe, then it would be sweet. It would be awesome. But they don't. Yeah, but they're just so padded up, which is awesome if that's what you're into, don't get me wrong. But yeah, for this kind of narrow boot, it does not fit my feet with my wide ass hobbit feet. So I opted out for the Intuition. Even had to take out that extra cuff bracing that they come with on the Intuition. Took that out so they were skinny enough, and my feet fit these quite well, surprisingly. Yeah, wasn't too much pain or too many pressure points or anything. Skating them for about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours maybe, easily. No real discomfort. These skates, the FR UFR, come in, I guess, 4 different models, you could say. Now they have the aggressive setup model, which is basically just the sole plate. It comes with a sole plate. You can get it boot only, and you can get it with the full setup, which also I don't have with me because I only got the boot. But it's Antony Pottier's aluminium frame, which also comes with 65mm wheels. It's a gnarly setup. It's actually value for your money, that whole setup. Yeah, because the frames themselves are quite expensive, and then, you know, with the wheels and bearings and the boot, yeah, it's actually quite well priced. So you can get that, and that comes with the stock liner, and then you can get the Intuition model, which is actually a pretty cheap option if you just want a new boot with an Intuition liner. Yeah, FR are the second company that I know of that has collaborated with Intuition to make liners for their boots, which is pretty rad. I haven't skated those liners, their version of the Intuition liners yet. Oh, I probably won't ever. So that is the first 2 versions, the street version. But then what FR has done, interestingly enough, is once you take the actual sole plate off, it is their new FR boot, which is the same as their FR1 and whatnot. But they have upgraded it so you can skate them as an aggressive setup or just whack any other frame, which is UFS, which is pretty smart of them, to be honest. Yeah, and once again, their urban rec skate comes either with their stock liner or with Intuition liner. So it really depends on your, I don't know, your preference and cash, I guess. Now, because they have those 2 different models, the Intuition version and then their original version with their own liner, sizing is confusing, to say the least. It is recommended to size up if you're going to skate with their liners. Otherwise, if you get the Intuition liner, go with your actual feet sizing. Another random thing that I found pretty interesting. Stop beeping. Another random thing I found pretty interesting about their shell sizing is it goes 6'7" dual sizing as you normally do. There's 7.5, which is the boot I've got. It's its own individual sizing. And then from there it's 8, 9, 10, 11, so forth. Which is real random. Like, why do they have like this one random 7.5 boot that's just by itself? Yeah, I don't understand that. But hey, so always double check the sizing, because it can get confusing if you plan on buying the boot without the intuition liner to swap it out, and then you have to figure out the right sole plate for that boot. I can't even remember what I went for, but I found the information from This Is Sole, their website. Really, really useful, really handy. Gave me the information I needed. How did I set up these skates? My setup for these was, or is, should I say, I got the 7.5 shell of the FR boot, chucked in my 7.5 intuitions. Like I said, had to take out that extra cuff on the intuitions so they would fit into the boot. Otherwise, with that cuff, I found it just really pinched my heels too much. I just, yeah, it was not comfortable at all. So took that out, or took it off, chucked these in, and even the heel is still hugging my Achilles. Like, it's hugging it quite well, like a nice tight embrace, but it's not comfortable, which is ideal, which is awesome. Swapped out the sole plate. I went for a white one because I'm a sucker for white sole plates on a black boot. They actually come with just the black sole plate. Chucked on Create original frames, small to medium size because of how big my feet are. 62mm Russell Day red eye wheels, because I love rocking 62mm wheels for anti-rock setup. Dead wheels in the middle, and yeah, that's my setup for these. And they worked really well, like surprisingly really well. Now the sole space, even though it is deceptively, it looks massive, but to be honest, they're really not that big. It's like a nice in between. And the sole space feels kind of like a Them's, somewhere in between like a Them and a SL, I guess, somewhere around there. Yeah, I found the setup perfect, just the way they match up. Yeah, it was real good. It was real good. Sole plates, pretty fast. They're not slow, not super fast, but yeah, I found them. Yeah, they slide, man. They slide real well. So I don't know what they've used, but if all sole plates could be this material, yeah, they'd be the goods. I would be stoked. What else? Oh, the cuffs. The cuffs. Let's talk about the cuffs, because I'm all about the cuffs, and so are a lot of other people. The plastic is pretty, like, sturdy. It's not really that flexy. It is, but it isn't. But surprisingly, even with this kind of stiff cuff, I had a lot of flex. Obviously I didn't do them up super tight because that's not how I roll anyway, but they gave me the flex that I needed to go topside, yeah, to really bone over royales and all that, like, it was no problem. I actually started off with them quite loose and had to tighten them up throughout the session. Otherwise I found them too loose, which not something that really happens very often. Another thing I love, well, another thing that I appreciate about these boots is they've cut away this extra plastic that you don't need that goes around the top of your foot. So say if you've got quite a wide foot going vertically, that's going to be very comfortable, very, very comfortable for you. To the point where I don't even really do up the laces. I just use the power strap, which is awesome. Another little thing I do like about these cuffs is this little part here. If it's too long, just cut it. It has, yeah. So it fits, slots in well underneath there. Also, this little feature here, so your buckle strap's not like flinging all over the show. Pretty cool. Yeah, so like I said, these are quite a skinny boot. Be careful if you have super wide feet. For me, how wide are my feet? They're about, oh, I actually can't remember. They 10? Nah. Put it this way, I don't skate M12s because I find them uncomfortable. Couldn't skate Mesmers because my feet are too wide. That was painful. I can just get my feet in this and they feel good. I can skate thems. I usually use a small shell quite comfortably. I think it really helped with the intuitions in these boots. Like my feet just get in there and it's not too uncomfortable in any way. Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty mean. Quite surprised, like I said. Yeah, I was just getting used to, well, I was just adjusting to the height of these skates. Like when you're actually on them, you do feel a lot higher. But once you've adjusted to that, it shouldn't take you long. Yeah, once you do a couple of grinds, like, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, what would I compare them to? I don't even know. Kind of like a them. Would it be like a them? A them, it would be like a them with an M12, but then with kind of like a fifth element sole plate, I guess. Yeah, like a them sole plate and a fifth element sole plate. The main reason I got these boots is I am going to eventually turn this into a wizard setup. But in the meantime, I thought I'd give them a try, see what the fuss was all about, since people do really like dig these skates. Like they've been getting pretty, yeah, like rave reviews. So I don't know, curiosity got the best of me. Had a pretty mean session today. We had a few of us. There was like 5 of us skating, which is pretty rare. A couple of the old boys came back for a skate and they skated with them for a while. Got a new guy, Scotty, who is back blading after 15 years. And he was he landed a few new tricks, which is pretty sick. Yeah, so here's some extra footage of the crew. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Sure.